Hey, welcome to my putting together of the trombone that I showed you in the last video. And I opted to make a separate video showing what it sounds like when an old fart who hasn't touched the instrument for, let me see, well, I've been married to Beth for 7 years and I haven't touched the instrument in that time. So we're looking at probably 8 years or more that I haven't played. So from an interest point of view of what it takes to take up an instrument again that you haven't played for a long time, I thought I would actually make a promise to you that I wouldn't play at all, that I wouldn't touch the instrument in the time since the last video of when I showed you what the instrument looked like. It's well, count this as a disclaimer or a disappointment, but I couldn't get my hands so far on a decent instrument. This is it's a Chinese attempt to make an instrument that they don't normally make. Now actually I'm a believer that the Chinese are very clever. I've been to China, spent a lot of time there, and I always came back with the impression that if they brought their manufacturing up to the standard of their artwork, then boy, the West would be in real trouble. I think that they produce cheap stuff, not that we're going political now, but I think they produce cheap stuff because that's the price that they're given. You know, if somebody comes to any craftsman, no matter how clever, and says, I want you to produce this item and I want you to produce it for this price, then everything else will follow. The materials will match the quality of the materials, and how they're put together will match the price. We can only do this for this price. And that's why I think that the West is full of cheap Chinese stuff. You know, I can remember back when the Japanese were viewed in the same way, and if you look now at the Japanese quality that comes in their cars, boy, they're not doing anything cheap anymore. In fact, I think they're having some of the... Here's an irony for you. I think that the Japanese are actually going to China to have some of their cheap knockoff stuff done. Right. So, by way of saving face in advance, I'm going to get Beth to edit in a song that I played, a solo I played on trombone when I was still in Fort Myers. Let me see. I would have played this. This is how I was playing. Let me see. About, I would say 9 years ago, 8 to 9 years ago. Had you found me playing and on an instrument that I loved, this is what I would sound like. So I'll leave you with that. The tune is called Masquerade. It's a quality written, old standard, beautiful song. I'll leave you with that. And then I'll come back, I'll unpack the trombone, and for better or for worse, the good, the bad and the ugly, I'll play it back in a minute. Well, probably about 3.